I am recording on my other program. Blah blah blah. Okay, mate, cool. We'll get into it now.
We've done. That was the most technical work I've ever done with a computer ever.
I agree. Look, it's because every time I fucking come to record something, like it just breaks. Have you got a beverage?
I do. I've got a on subject matter. Corona.
On brand.
I have a Corona.
On brand. Cheers, Will.
Cheers, babe.
How's life? I haven't seen it. What room are you in? Is it in your new house?
This is the front room of the new house. I've got art department stuff behind me. I'm trying to, always dress in the background set. I've got ladders and all sorts of stuff behind me.
Right, we'll definitely get onto that at some point as well.
Yeah, but no, I'm good, man. I've been busy. You know the thing about the storyboards you text me about.
Oh yeah.
Literally, as I got in the car to drive home from work, I got an email from another of your colleagues asking. Was it Danny?
By any chance?
Yeah. I was writing an email and doing my invoice, and then I was like, oh wait, I need to I literally got in and I started writing on my computer, and then I was like, oh wait, I need to do the interview.
Oh, sorry about that, mate. Are you okay to do them?
Yeah, no, we're good.
I don't think they need them till next week, so I said, yeah, mate, you might be okay.
Yeah, I need to email it back. I'll be all right, because I'm on a shoot next week, and then they want me to do carpeting this weekend, or maybe, I don't know.
All right, okay, interesting. So, how is the new house? How's you? What?
How are you? Are you all right?
Yeah, mate, I'm good. Yeah, I'm really good. Riding the wave, as they say. Actually, saving for an house.
What? You?
Yeah, fully. I know. For once in my life, I actually have money. I never thought I'd see the day.
Incredible stuff. Joint account.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, we actually do. Yeah.
I was going to say, there's no way she's letting you be in charge of that by yourself.
No. Well, we'll put in £100 a month, and if we touch it, we'll only spend it on this. Blah blah blah.
Yep. We're doing a spreadsheet.
Mate, I've done a spreadsheet.
Oh Christ!
For my incomings and outgoings, yeah, I'm fucking on it.
Mate, I'm nowhere near on it. Farah's on it. She comes to me with the plan, and I go, okay, and I give in the money, or I don't give them. I do what I need to do.
Are you saving for an house?
Yeah. We got we do the Monzo house deposit and everything.
Yes. Mate, look at us. Look at us.
Look at us. It's two adults getting it done.
Who'd have thought it? Then we'll have a kid together, me and you.
You and me, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it in we'll Harry Potter it and keep it under the stairs or in a cupboard.
Yeah. Just give it some... As long as it's got enough room to move its arms fully, that's all we need.
Yeah, you don't want it to give it a privileged life. You want...
No.
Middle class, no room to move.
Yeah. Yeah, we want them to be middle class, but we also want them to be tortured inside.
Yeah. Really hard done by, so they're just angry.
Yeah, so, and then we want them to get to 13, 14 years old and go to college and then eventually have a mental breakdown and rebel.
Yeah. And then that's where they write a great book or
yes, really and that's when then we can adapt it into a film, make millions, and put them up for adoption. Yeah,
and we sell them. That's how children work.
Yeah. Let me just put this in my notes so I remember. I suppose I better do an intro, mate.
Okay.
I like the fact that we've started this podcast off this way as opposed to formal shit.
I was going to ask what person do I need to present to? Am I doing full Will? We're doing professional Will. I was going to text you what are we doing?
No, mate, this isn't for anybody. This is for me, and this is for us. It can be anything. I can edit this if we slag people off, fully swear, do what you want. Be you. I just want to talk to you and your actual experience of the film. We'll touch on the film mainly, but
yeah,
mate, I'm happy to just totally not talk about it whatsoever. The only link in this podcast is that we're drinking a beer, and that's it.
That's the only relation to it at all.
And I have a film poster behind me. That's it.
I just assumed that was just legs, like a sexual porn thing.
I mean, it is, but I just pretended it was a film poster.
Mm.
You never watched Kingpin?
I don't think I have. No.
Oh, mate, you would love it. It's got Bill Murray and Woody Harrelson in it.
Oh, those two are the best. To be fair.
And like they're washed up bowlers. Hence the title.
What is it with
It's
Woody
unreal.
Harrelson and like? Wasn't Woody Harrelson in White Men Can't Jump or something?
Yeah.
He loves sports things, doesn't he?
I love Woody Harrelson.
He's great.
And what's the one that Bill Murray's kind of into sports shit, right? He's in that one about golf.
Is he? Oh no,
It's
yeah.
in the hole.
Yeah,
It's that one. It's in the hole.
It's in the hole. And they've all been like a baseball one at some point. Every like American actor has been in a baseball.
Yeah.
One.
Adam Sandler's done every sport under the sun. Coming out with a kite surfing film next year. Mate, that guy. Have you seen the articles about him? Like he's making he's Netflix's biggest asset now.
Well, yeah, he's
Adam Sandler films.
I think people go, "Oh, Adam Sandler, laugh at it," and then he's like, they're all making jokes about him, and he's just sat in like his mansion going, "Yeah, make your jokes. I don't give a shit. I'm just."
Yeah, but then he does a film like Uncut Gems, and you're like, "Yo."
Yeah, that was him going. He's like the jokes got too high, so he quickly just did a quick uncut gem to like shake everyone up a little bit. Then went back to complete trash. So you just never know where he's going. Like he's just
he wants to make a film called The Sandlerverse, doesn't he? Where every Adam Sandler film character is in the film.
Yeah.
Have you watched Hubie Halloween?
No.
He gets, have you watched Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
You know Ben Stiller's character when he's like, what's his name? Al something. And he's like the owner of the retirement home, and he's like that to Adam Sandler's grandma, and he's like,
yeah.
That shit. He's in Hubie Halloween like 25 years later as the same character, and everyone's saying like, oh, yo, he should do. I think everyone was like, he should do like a Sandlerverse film, and then he was like, yeah, I'm going to pitch that to Netflix, and I think he fully has. Like, they've signed him for 4 more films.
Well, I was going to say, pitch to Netflix, greenlit straight away. I think.
Yeah, he's their biggest asset now. So like, they're dumb not to have him. But yeah, yeah, mate. I'll do an introduction so the people know who you are. But I've got a feeling this is going to be a long one, which is great. So yes, I'll do this. Hello.
Hang on.
You are.
Wait, it's a podcast, isn't it? Never mind.
What did you say?
I was going to pick a pose, but it's audio, so.
No, go on. No, it's all video. This will be a video podcast as well. This will go on YouTube. YouTube will, not that website. Perfect. Is this the thumbnail? Is this the thumbnail?
This is the thumbnail. Art department.
Yeah, and I'll do what does the director do?
There you go. That's our intro. There's the thumbnail.
Will did what? Gone sensual in brackets.
Yeah, just the ladder in the background.
Eiffel Tower. You set the tone for this.
Do an intro.
Yeah, sorry. All right, let's do it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Pub Kid podcast. My guest today is a dear friend, first and foremost. Art director extraordinaire, art assistant extraordinaire. This is too formal for us. Lover.
I was laughing at dear friend, so we're already off the rails.
Yeah, you gotta lie.
Yeah. It's more like
it's more like lover, probably
family. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a brother to me.
Like a distant, horrifying brother. I love how I've already derailed your intro.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, no one's. Yeah, we'll just as we were.
As we were. So.
How's work?
Work is good. Been doing a lot of commercials recently, which is my bread and butter. And what was I doing? I was in London last week doing a Paddy Power commercial.
Nice.
It's funny. They don't make me sign anything, so I could just tell you everything about the advert. So I will. It's with who's the tall footballer?
Crouchy.
Yeah, I've met Crouchy again.
You becoming best buds, right?
It's Crouchy and Mo Salah I just keep meeting. And first time I met Mo Salah, I actually thought,
at least you're not calling him Mo Farah anymore.
That's true. I thought he was a random dude. So one time he tried to go to the toilet, and I was like, "That's for talent. Don't use that toilet." And he was like, "I'm Mo Salah," and I was like, "I don't know who that is.
And
I don't know who that is." So I'm like, "Sorry." And then you tell your dad and all these Liverpool fans, and they're all just like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry." But yeah, did a shoot with Peter Crouch. It was really cool. And then next week, I'm on something in Birmingham next week. I don't even know what it is. You get that a lot.
oh mate, where in Birmingham?
Dude, I don't know. They ring you and they say, "Are you free next week?" And you go, "Yeah," and they go, "Okay, cool," and they hang up the phone, and that's like as much information as you get.
Oh, let me know when you're in Birmingham. We'll try and do something. I mean, not that we can do anything, but you could sit in my house, I guess. Mate, if you need a place to stay, let me know.
Will do. It's like it's prep Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday it's like a filming into a night shoot. So I don't know who knows what
crack is. Okay, well, just let me know, man, if you need anywhere.
Yeah,
leave a key in the shoe. Genuinely.
Let's talk about your things, your stuff.
Yes, that's a nice little segue, isn't it?
I assume you're sick of talking about now, of the amount of things you've talked to people about it.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that's the nature of being a television director, I suppose.
Well, yeah, it's the nature of premiering on TV and just being hounded as you are by everyone.
No, mate, you know I love it. Like,
Yeah,
I've got the biggest ego ever.
so next.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's so difficult. Like, it's so difficult talking about myself. I hate it. Like, you kidding? That's like a hobby.
Man, he's on radio. He's on TV, making podcasts. Eventually, I'll get sick of it.
I don't know, mate. We need to make another one as soon as.
Yeah, well, I need to ask you about that. Like if the fans want to know, when's the next big job? When am I once again going to be collecting random shit for you in a box?
Could be September.
Oh, September. Oh, okay.
Yes, right.
I've never thought that far ahead so far because I don't. I've got to think week by week at this point.
I know that's like a bit of a placeholder at the moment, but I started writing something, and we've got links at the BBC now. So apparently, I've been told that that BBC Three is coming back on TV now.
You got told that exclusively? Was that?
Yes, by Molly. But if they're coming back on TV, luckily the thing that I'm writing is comedy, so we'll try our best.
Yeah.
So writing 2 comedies at the moment. One's a series, one's a short. So I mean, I'm going to try and pitch both. One's a short film about, maybe a short film. I don't know yet. But the idea is that it's a Christmas comedy, and it's called A Boston Bloody Crimbo. That's the title. And it's set in Dudley, and it's like a family road trip to their family up the country.
Okay.
And things happen along the way. Very similar to like Little Miss Sunshine, but set in England and at Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And funnier. But yeah. And then the other one is a series about your favourite topic, football.
Mate.
Football hooligans to be exact.
I'm gonna hold myself back because I was about to just explode with subject matter and my own thoughts and opinions about the football, about the game, the rural hype behind it. But go on, tell me about your. I'll try and pay attention. So it's football.
Football hooligans, funny young kids who want to be football hooligans, but they're actually a bunch of kids who are kind of pussies. And there's like
I feel like I could play someone in this series.
100%. We'll get you in a full-on feeler tracksuit, courtesy of Joe Bodfish.
If ever you're like, would someone who doesn't know how to play football would do this? I can be like the correspondent on it and be like, I've played my way up a lot of things.
We'll get you as one of the players, so you're the most knowledge about football. Yeah. We need somebody we need a researcher,
Well, yeah, you need someone who's got, first-hand experience meeting Peter Crouch twice and asking him to move over so I could get to a prop. And that's as much as I talk to him. But me and him constantly texting. He's a lovely bloke.
The chemistry between you.
Very tall. But yeah, I know Peter Crouch is what I'm trying to say.
We need to get you a
Dean
T-shirt.
Crabtree, great. Mo Salah, not so much. Doesn't like me. His team hates me.
Still go around for tea every now and again, though.
Jesse Lingard, I met him.
Did you?
I thought he was in Manchester United. No, I thought he played for Liverpool. I said he played for Liverpool, and his driver nearly kicked my head in.
Jeez, he did play for Manchester United. You were correct.
Did he? Oh, okay.
He now plays for West Ham. You know the Hammers, Will. The good old Hammers.
Crystal Palace.
Sure. On that note, Will was, if you don't know, Will was the art director on Pub Kid. Will was the art director on Pub Kid, and that's why we've got him on to briefly talk about it, I guess.
Yes, that's why, didn't I?
That's definitely why we've been talking for 15 minutes about nothing. And yeah, I mean, we will talk about it and the film and kind of what you did, but first and foremost, I think you were the first person to know about the film and what was going on, because I started writing it when we were living together in Manchester.
Well, yeah, I remember you asking me for, you were writing the poem on the kitchen table, and you were asking us for like rhymes or different words for like head or drunk or all these things. So I remember you writing that. I didn't realize it was going to go on to, that was the thing. You didn't tell us. You were just typing on a laptop, and then you would go, what rhymes with this? We'd be like, what? Like, I remember just cooking, and you were like, what? And I was like, this word? And you would go, oh yeah. Didn't realize that's where that was going. But, you know, it's really funny about you saying about it was knowing the first time, because when you told me the idea, I told my parents when I was on the phone to them, and my mum loved the idea because she she was like in that kind of same situation when she was young, of that family era of like her parents just went to the pub all the time, and that was so that she like really connected to it. And then from that, I was like, always whenever you mentioned the project, I was thinking about my mum, and I was like, oh, I kind of can like relate to this now with through my mum of what she went through, and like my granddad of she went through, that's not how it was, but like of what people growing up in those different situations. So I was like, oh, very interested. And then you asked if I wanted to be art director, which I'd never done at that point, and I made sure you knew that.
I had full trust in you. You're a crafty bugger, not in the nasty way either. You're a handy. You're good with your hands.
Actually, you know, when the director turns to say, "Can we do this?" You go, "Yeah, sure," and then you run away and try and figure out how the fuck to do it.
I go, I've got some chipboard in the van.
Oh my god, my favorite thing that happened on that day was Molly calling me and going, "Do we have any crayons?" And I was like, yeah, sure. And I ran upstairs in the pub, and I just started going through all their drawers, and I found one pink crayon, and I was like, oh my god, like I was like, this is not going to work. Found a crayon, ran down to Molly like, oh my god, this is going to blow her mind. And then of course I got to her, and she was like, oh, we're moving on, we're not doing that anymore. And I was like, oh, cool. Threw my pink crayon in the bin, just like outraged.
Yeah,
never mind.
I mean, yeah, me and Molly and Bod had spoke about this, that you were just like running around like a headless chicken, and we did say, like, you know, I would confidently say out of every person on that set, not to say that nobody wasn't, but you were definitely the most hardest working person on that set that day.
See, everyone's saying that, but all I remember is constantly nearly fucking up. That's how I remember the 2 days. They were really fun days. But like every time, and it was mainly Bod, was telling me to go, well, we really need this. I was like, Bod, I'm really trying. Like,
let me just magic this thing out my arse. Like, you know what I mean?
It's when I was like making beers for one set, and you come over and be like, we need you to really start setting up the next place. And I'm like, I'm aware, Bod, don't worry. But as soon as I leave this place, you'll just call me back. And I remember literally saying to him, okay, go into the next, I think it was the bathroom scene. And as I got in the bathroom scene to start drawing the graffiti, Bod came running back and going, well, beers. And I was like, oh, okay. And then ran back. So it looked like hard work, but to me, it felt like I was putting out fire. I think I said this to you, where you were like, do you feel like you're art director? And I was like, no, I felt like I just put out fires constantly. And it was just me kind of trying to keep a lid on the situation so that things kind of kept going, in a sense. Yeah, I mean, I've been in a lot of jobs. I don't know what to call this role. but someone someone labeled it as art support, which I quite like, where I turn up on set. I'm not allowed an opinion on anything I see on the monitor, but I'm the entire art department and I just put out fires. So what I end up doing is I stand at the back of the room and then someone yells out, art department, I step forward and they're like, fix this. And I go over to it with my little tool bag and I just fix it and like go away again.
Mate, I disagree with part of that. Like, I think you had a full on like creative input when it came to like art directing a particular shot.
Yeah, to be fair, when we had like, you know, time to look at it, and actually, I think that was the difference. On yours, I felt like I could when we had time to look at it, and you were always asking me like, "Will, what do you think of this?" And I was looking and go, oh, "Okay," but my mind was too busy thinking, "Okay, I need to take down the thing we were on before. I need to start setting up the next thing." So I think in that way, but I wasn't worried about that because you and Dan had that sorted out. Like you both knew what you wanted completely, and it was more like, oh, this looks a bit weird, Will, then I would come and look at it and go, oh, I can sort that out.
Yeah, I think that was half the battle, wasn't it? Of like, we know exactly what this shot needs to look like, so it's easier to kind of direct you and say, we know it needs to look like this, as opposed to going, make this look sexy like a pub. Like,
yeah, that's the difference.
There's no guidance.
There's a lot of people I've worked with, director wise, who they just point the camera at a place, and then they say, just dress the camera, and like, or they point the camera and they don't say anything, but you as an art department look at it and you go, that looks bland, like that, there's nothing there. And then you come in and add stuff and they go, oh, that looks way better now. And you're like, yes.
That's my job. I'm an art director. That's why I'm getting paid.
What I do. But it's, when we did yours, I mean, I'll happily make this statement of, the film has no alcohol in it. There is zero alcohol in the film because it's all fake. It's all non-alcoholic beer mixed with apple juice, and then it's Ribena. Although I have found out from later jobs that flat Coca-Cola is what you should use for wine. Weirdly, because when you get all the fizzes out of it, the slightly like syrupy feel of Coke is perfect for what wine looks like.
Yeah,
it works way
it's
better.
like, it's not pure black, is it, Coke? It's like
because
it's like dark purple.
It's a dark purple, and when you use like black currant, it's very red. But red wine is very black and purpley. But Coca-Cola does that kind of perfectly. So that's what I realized that I kind of needed to do. I mean, I found out a bunch of stuff after I did it. But yeah, no alcohol, which was I remember when we were shooting, you know, the bit where the two glasses clinked together.
Yeah.
And you and Dan were like being a bit stingy on the beers there, Will. And that's because we had 3 beers. We had 3 non-alcoholic beers left. And I was like trying to move the background beers around to get more beer in one glass so I could keep topping it up. But I was about to run out of beer and I didn't want you guys to know or worry about it. So I just looked like I was being stingy. Because I was like, we're about to run out and I don't want to run out. And then the next day I went
wasn't it? Because yeah, I was going to say, I think the next day you're like, I'm going to Tesco to get some non-alcoholic beer. And I was like, you're struggling. That's a man who's on edge, but not too on edge because he wants to drink to drain his sorrows, but it's not alcoholic. So
I was doing it bright in the morning. That's when I nearly locked myself in your family porch because I could open the front door, but I couldn't open the door. And then I realized it's a deadlock and I would have locked myself in and then just trapped in the porch. And I'm so glad I didn't. And then your dad came down like, Will, what are you doing? And he like unlocked the door for me. And I managed to run out.
Yeah, it's the worst lock ever, that.
It was so funny because I was up and then I was up and dressed and I wanted to leave the house, but I couldn't get out of the house. I couldn't figure out how to leave the house to go get more beer. And I remember explaining to everyone, no one needs to get more beer. And then everyone would be like, where's Will? And I was like, I just told you.
He's gone to Tesco.
Gone to Tesco. I've done a Tesco run.
Moral of the story, Will, I think you need an art assistant, mate.
Possibly need an art assistant. It was...
Erin did a good job.
Erin did do a good job, but she had like other things that she needed to do as a runner and like sort out people's lunches or go do other things. And I'm still not good at, in any way, delegating because... total times now, I think 3 times I've been an art director, and every time it's just been me. And I'm still not used to having a team or telling people what to do. That's still not in me in any way. So when Erin was going, Will, do you want some help? I was, naturally I'm there going, I'm fine. I'm like, everything's fine. I don't need help. I'm okay. I'm fine. Whoa. So
I haven't just cried in the bathroom for 5 minutes. I'm fine.
yeah. It was when Bod had to take the cleaning stuff off me in the bathroom because I was cleaning up what I'd written on the wall. And he was like, no, Molly and Erin will do that because you have 2 more setups to do. And the film and the camera and director are there. And we need the art department to set up the next thing. And I'm just like, I'm wiping this wall, Bod. I'm cleaning. Because I was really concerned about leaving like any kind of mess or any kind of damage in the pub because they'd been so nice to give us up, and so I was like, I'm not going to leave any kind of scuffs here or anything. But so the cleanup was really good for it. I must say, we looked out massively on the chipboard thing, as you mentioned earlier. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell that story a bit more of how that. If for anybody that doesn't understand the context of this, there's a scene in the film where there's 2 young rapscallions spray painting.
Run really well. There's a really good runner.
Oh fucking hell! One of them was Bod as an extra. The other was one of my good mates, Elliot. Shout out to Elliot. And yeah, so they're graffitiing something at the top of the pub, and other kids are playing football. Basically, to show all these kids in harmony, apart from our pub kid who's by himself, wanting to get involved, but he can't. Fun fact as well, they sprayed Yeti on the chipboard, and that's my dad's not my dead dad's my dad's I can assure you, my dad is not dead. I mean, this is going out in May, so who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what's going to happen? But yes.
But yes, so we were driving to the location and we were doing the recce, and on the recce at night, it was like at night, and we were outside the pub and we were looking at this door, and everyone was going, oh, so we'll just spray paint on the door. And I was like, no, we're not spraying paint on the door because I can't clean off spray paint and I'll need to paint over it. I don't have that exact paint. And like, I can't have time for us to spray paint it and for me to clean it off because it will take a while. I've now learned what to do with this is to use clear vinyl and put that over the door. Then you can spray it and you can just peel it up. I didn't have any clear vinyl on that day. And then we were like, right, we just need to put something over it. We need to sort something out. But at this point, the rest of the crew, you know, like you and Dan and Phil, had moved on and we're talking about other shots. Meanwhile, I'm there like, oh shit, I gotta sort out this spray paint situation. Like, oh my God, they're gonna spray a door. And then I don't know if it was on the recce or the next day. No, it must have been on the recce. We were walking around the bowling pitch to talk about doing the wide shot, and then we just came across this random massive piece of chipboard, like this 8x4 chipboard. And they'd thrown down the back corner of this muddy pile because there was so much mud that people were tracking it, so they must have thrown this chipboard. And everyone was like, there we go. And I was like, oh yeah, we'll put that in. So that was the first shot up on the first day. And while everyone else was setting up, I just disappeared down the back end of the pub into this forest, picked up a massive chipboard. Bear in mind, it's really windy. And I just start legging it down like through the pitch with a massive chipboard. I'm being blown around like crazy, but I'm sweating because I'm like, this is the first shot. I can't mess up. I need to get this right. So I'm sprinting with this chipboard, and there's an old guy on the top of the pub, like terrace, going, "Get off the pitch!" And I'm like, "Fuck off!" And I'm like running across.
That was for anybody. That was the owner of the pub, by the way.
That was the owner of the pub that I was telling to fuck off. And I got to the fire door and I tried to attach it with sticky back tape, but the wind kept blowing off. So then I thought, fuck it. I just like drilled it into the fire door. So there's me worrying about getting paint on it. I'm just like hacking away at it with a freaking drill. Then I screwed it on and everyone's like, oh yeah, that works. Everything's fine. But I did have to keep asking because we put all the stuff, like all the equipment in the other room, other side of the fire door. And I was like, right, well, I'm going to secure this chipboard to the door. So don't use the door. And then people were like, hold on, Will, we need to get our camera equipment out. And I was like, it was one of those funny moments where I stood at the top of the fire escape holding what essentially is a sail during a very windy time. Having to hold this massive piece of chipboard while people made up their minds about whether they wanted this bit out of the room or not. But yeah, that was the first hurdle of many hurdles.
Yes,
where I was like,
thought you said that was like the first shot of the film, right?
Yeah, that's why I felt like throughout the entire day or the 2 days, I was just getting away with it. I just kept coming to, this might be where I fuck up, and I just kept getting away with it, and that's the best feeling as art department member when you just about get away with it each time. And they go, "Oh, that looks great," and you go, "Oh yeah, I planned that. I meant to do all that. Don't worry. I had that chipboard ready to go in the van. I wasn't looking around a forest for it at all."
Yeah. And if we don't get this shot in the next 5 minutes, that chipboard's going to fall down.
Yeah. So it's fine. I'm fine where I am. I'm trying to think of anything else funny that happened.
I was going to say that was one of the questions that I had lined up, was like most memorable moment on set. But I mean, that's a great answer.
That was a really funny, because that was like the first thing, and after that I was like, right, I'm pretty chill, because that was the only thing I was really worried about. But
then fuck up early, and then like
immediately after that was not immediately after that, sorry, the next worry was the bathroom scene, because once again you wanted graffiti on the bathroom, and I didn't know if the pen came off the wall. So while everyone was busy setting up one shot, I ran into the bathroom and used some pens I bought from my Tesco run on the wall and tried to clean it off. And thankfully it came off, thank God, because they used like a high gloss paint.
Yeah. So
the owner made sure to tell me that he just got it repainted. So I was like, right, I can't mess this up. This has to look fine. So I tested it over and over again, and I was like, right, this comes off fine. And then I just drew all this stuff. I do remember that though, when I wrote all these things, and you came in and you laughed. But then you went, "You can't have that. You can't have that. Take that off."
You'd put like my mobile number down, like, "Oh, ring this for a good time," and I was like, although I love it, and like I absolutely love it, we can't put that on there, Will.
That's not the BBC way. And I was like, yeah, fair news. Oh, I will say that led to a really funny, quick thought. I don't know if it was my thought or whatever, but we realised that in the bathroom, he needed to look like he was peeing, so he needed to have actual urine coming out of his body. But of course, he couldn't get his cock out in front of a kid. So we literally just got a water bottle.
This was my uncle, by the way.
This is your uncle. And then we literally got like a squeezy water bottle, or like the water drinking bottle, and filled it with the orange juice that I've been putting in all the beers. The apple juice, sorry, that I've been putting in all the beers. It looked like piss. And then we just put that in. I just kept refilling that. And it just worked perfectly for looking like a really quick, cheap way of just quickly getting that done.
And these things, and the thing is that you can't even see it in the film. You can't even see the colour of the piss. You don't even see the piss, like.
But I cared about that. Yes. I made sure.
And those we've spoke about these. Me and Molly have above.
Yes, that's the thing we speak about.
We need to get onto that.
How funny they were to make, and how you just don't see them. So it's like the funniest thing. But the thing is, they were needed, because as I found out from doing a lot of pub stuff, covering the pub logos is always annoying. Like, it's always incredibly annoying. You can turn off the lights and stuff, but a lot of time they don't come off. They do come off, but they are glued on. Like, so you have to either re-glue them back on, or you have to cover them up. And so I think just saying let's make our own logos and then just put them on is way more fun than just trying to cover them up. So coming up with making the logos and then trying to make them all relate to you in some way, and like doing all these little graphics was really fun. And then getting all printed out by I'll come on in now. M&A prints was really good.
Yes, M&A. Shout out to M&A.
I've worked with them before and getting prints like that done. So it was funny when I rang them up and I was like, do you do like pub look? And the guy was like, oh yeah, I do them all the time. And I was like, oh right, okay. He's like the manliest.
How's his accent go again?
We don't know. We never know.
Go on. Sorry, I didn't pick that bit up. I need you to record that again. Go on.
he was like, oh yeah, we do that. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, no problem, Duck. Shug. That's the accent. That's the accent they do. Yeah. Really killed the tempo of the conversation there.
Yeah, I've totally ruined it. Well, my presenter skills are fuck up. But, what was your favourite beer coaster? Beer sign? Pump sign?
I don't know what it's called. There is a name.
Beer pump clip.
Beer pump clip thing. Yeah. Well, you know which one's my favourite one.
I don't.
Yeah, you do. It's the lick one.
Little lick?
Yeah, it's a little lick. Because
that's my favourite as well.
Because
we won't get into the joke of that though.
No, we won't get into the joke of that one. But the reason that's my favourite one is because it's that one and the one that's the barrels. I can't remember what the actual name of it is. But it's just like 3 barrels.
Young's Ale.
is ones where I actually just drew it. The other ones are like
Fonts.
Photoshop like templates that you can like just like stickers that you can just click in. I just like colored them and did other stuff to them. But then those are ones I laughed about so much, so I just actually drew the whole thing. And it's when I did it really quickly, and it came out so well that I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get this printed off.
Have you still got some of your own?
Yeah. I literally just thought that as well. I think they're in the basement, but or they're down there. No.
Is that where Farah's currently locked up as well?
Yeah. That's where I keep Farah and all the stuff I've ever worked on jobs. So I just keep it in a basement.
Farah and just a plethora of art.
Just wall to wall beer logos that I've come up with. That after we did those ones, I just got like an itch for it. So I've just been making thousands of different beer logos. Pitching them to graphic companies.
The man is obsessed.
Man, I just love these beer logos. I mean, that was really funny when you realize how much branding there is on everything. Like the bar was both bars took me a while to do because there's just so much branding on everything, and you can't do any branding, of course. So you just got to cover up everything. And I have found this now with a lot of shoots that I'm doing. A lot of my work now is I just take away all of the COVID signs. I just take away all the COVID stuff, like we were doing on yours, with getting rid of all the tape and all that stuff. Which is just funny because I have to put it all back, and I'm like, I love how we're just trying to live in this fantasy world of it never happened, and we just kind of keep taking it all away, and then I have to put it back up again. But that is, I guess, the current world of commercials and short films is looking to the future where this isn't a thing anymore. But I want a film where someone like keeps it in. I want someone to be like, no, this happened. Everyone wears masks. It's fine. But
do you know what'll happen? I saw a tweet about this. A friend on my Facebook put a post of this earlier, and it really made me laugh. And it was like, in a couple of months, Netflix will have a film about two young people who fall in love during COVID over the internet, and then COVID will all be over, and they meet, and it'll be, they'll love each other and get married.
You know what? I'll go
starring Noah Centennial or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
For all the boys who loved me during lockdown or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, all classics. I mean, the worst hit victim of lockdown, as we can all agree, is Fast and Furious 9. The fact that's not come out has hit me so hard. I can't deal with the fact I can't see F9. Have you seen that they've released? I'm going to talk about this now. They've released a newer trailer for it, in which they show a clip where they have a giant magnet attached to a lorry, and it pulls a car through a coffee shop. And I laughed so much at that one shot that I can't wait for the film. I'm so excited for the film, for them to drive around with a giant magnet and just magnet cars towards it.
I swear they did that already in Fast and Furious, when that one with the big safe on the highway.
They've done, so that's Fast and Furious 5. That's when they get, that's Fast 5, and they get two Dodge Chargers, and they attach next to the safe, and they use it to battle ram stuff.
Is that the same one where the airport runway is like a country long?
That is
Fast 6.
That's Fast 6. Or Fast. Me and Jack were talking about this, and we think the 10th film, if it's not called this, I don't know why, but it should be called Fast 10 Your Seatbelts.
Oh. That'd be class.
Because they've never done Fast and Furious. They've never done this Fast and Furious like title again. It's always been slightly different. So they do like Fast and Furious, the Fast and the Furious, then they do Fast and Furious 2, then Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Then it was like Fast this, and so the new one is called F9 because they never repeat the title. So I just want to see F9 so badly. This is the only thing I want.
I mean, at least you got to saw Tenet.
I did get to see Tenet. I did risk my life for Bloodshot. Me and Jack went to go see Bloodshot, which is the Vin Diesel film that no one went to go see because it was released during lockdown when it was premiered on the day they were going to shut the cinemas, and me and Jack went in and watched it wearing masks, and there was no one there, and it was just me and Jack.
Sorry, I thought the Tenet thing you'd have understood as a joke, but it seems as if you quite enjoyed it because I thought it was one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Oh my
Again, though,
God. What?
I do hate Christopher Nolan.
You do hate Christopher Nolan. Not enough.
Apart from Batman, you can go fuck
But you
himself.
can't do that. You can't just be like, oh, apart from these major films he's made, he's the worst.
One film, and
Are
it
you-
wasn't really. It
which
doesn't
one?
count as a. It
So
doesn't
which
count
one
as his
three
film.
he made are you getting angry about?
Oh God, yeah. I forgot he made 3 Batmans.
He made
I
3
only think he
Batman
made
films,
the Dark.
so you either got to choose one of them, or you got to agree that 3 of his films you like.
3 of the franchise films that he didn't write. Yes, I liked.
Well, I like Tenet a lot. I enjoyed myself. I couldn't hear a single thing, but I enjoyed.
That's the problem. It's just dumb. Memento's all right. Anyway, we're not going to get onto Dunkirk though. I'll tell you that for free, son.
Oh my God. I'm trying to think of anything else funny that happened on our shoot.
Were you involved in the fridge situation on our shoot?
What was the fridge situation?
When it came to moving fridges that had never been moved for 40 years, apparently.
I helped.
I think that's a conversation for... I think it was Millie and Lauren, actually, who moved these fridges.
Millie and Lauren, yeah, it was a situation of they were making a noise for the sound, which is always a problem. But I think they'd never been switched off in their entire lives, and the plug to switch them off was behind them. And to do that, you had to move them back, and you had to, like, I think they were sealed in place by, as you say, about 50 years of beer runoff and other things that had crusted and just sealed these fridges into these like little wooden shells.
And these fridges were full as well. So
Yeah,
they take everything out of the fridge.
No, yes, I remember helping take everything out of the fridge, and then we had to put everything back in, and then we had to move them again. So we had to take everything back out again. I remember doing that several times with them. I remember all your family got up and helped with that as well. What else was there that was like just hilarious?
The smoke alarm stuff as well. And
like, I feel cheated by that because I covered every single smoke alarm. Didn't realise there'd be a smoke alarm in the basement, and that's the one that went off. And I was like, and everyone was looking. It went off, and everyone looked at me like, "Oh, Will, you didn't screw up." And I was like, I looked over the diagram, and it's like basement, and I was like, right, well, no one told me there was one in the freaking basement. It's not my fault. So then I went down and just like covered that one up as well. But it was funny how every time something bad happened, we got the live-in landlord that he would come out. Clearly, he was trying to have his dinner, or he was trying to like watch TV. And he'd come out.
He was asleep. He fell asleep.
He asleep.
Yeah.
All these like people knocking around the pub, doing dumb shit all the time.
Poor bloke.
Oh, poor bloke. My God, the feeling of it was a great feeling once we finished it though, because the shots we did look great. Oh my God, smashing the beer glass was that was one of the main things that I was heavily worried about and heavily involved in, was smashing it on time. And of course, as I knew would happen, it wouldn't break.
Yeah.
The amount of times
Ding, ding, ding.
I lobbed this glass as hard as I could, it wouldn't break. And it was the funniest thing. It always happens when you need something to break, it won't break, or when you need something to not break, it'll just smash like in the van. So it was a very funny situation. But when we did get that shot, it looked great. Like the glass smashes right as an extra, passes out of the way of a light. So the light
and the liquid comes out perfectly.
Yeah,
like,
it all hits. So we were very happy about that. I do feel bad about making your dad smoke real cigarettes, because I've now learned that herbal cigarettes are a thing, and I was like, ooh, that was probably a better idea. But I got real cigarettes and made him smoke them.
I mean, it just made him an addict now. He just smokes like 40 a day now. But his son got on the telly, so
I think we should bring back smoking. And really, I think it's been gone too long. People look cooler, and I think cool is what we need right now. Fashion more than health. Agreed. I'd rather die looking good than live and looking bad. I mean, that's what
we need to bring back cigars and cigarettes that go on those long tubes that you hold and you hold them like that. I don't know.
What's the villain in
Audrey Hepburn? I don't know. Is that a name?
No.
Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
Have you
not
seen?
the,
Have
not
you
the
seen
perfect
the?
Audrey Hepburn.
Have you seen the Emma Stone Cruella trailer?
I tried to watch it, but I just kept closing it every time because I just got so. I was like, why? Why is this happening?
Yeah.
What
Why
is
have
this?
they ruined this?
I mean, it's like, I mean, Disney have too much money, and they're just going, well, what? They just look around at their big ball of money and they go, oh, and just throw it at it and go see what if they can make it again.
Yeah. What film haven't we looked at for years? 101 Dalmatians? Yeah, let's just do something with that.
Like the live action. So we're doing a live action prequel about who? The dogs? No, about Cruella de Vil. What?
Yeah. I want to
Do it.
see. I want to see a live action Fantasia
Oh my god.
where an actual mouse just gets put in a room full of LED lights and loses its fucking mind. And we put a little wizard hat on it.
It's like live action. It happens. You just go into a room and it's like 4D. Fantasia just happens to you.
Yeah,
Like,
sorry, I shouldn't say live action. I should say a never-ending live stream.
Yeah, a never-ending experience where you're just in a room and Fantasia is happening to you.
And mice crawl around the floor.
Yeah, a
All
room
look
wall
like
to
Mickey
wall
Mouse.
filled with mice, and there's LEDs, and someone just occasionally bangs like a gong or a large cymbal. Yeah, the live experience, Fantasia. It's in Disneyland. It's like you queue up for 2 hours and you get the live experience of Fantasia.
Yeah, but you only come out when you go in when the park is closing, and it only finishes when the park opens the next day.
Yeah, it's an all-nighter thing.
Yeah,
But you're not aware of that.
In Clockwork Orange, your eyes are prized open.
Yeah, and you come out and you're just inherently racist.
On that note, what did you think of the script?
I love the script, babe. I mean, I love poem
The
work.
idea in general.
I just find like dialogue stuff awkward because when people because real conversations between people are very hard to write and very hard to like do naturally with people that aren't seasoned actors. So when you've got someone doing a spoken word poem or it all just told through like visual things, it comes across a lot better, I think. Or I enjoy it a lot more because I'm not being awkward about a conversation happening in front of me. So when you said it was like a poem, I thought, oh, okay, this will like be a lot more succinct and stuff. And I think in terms of, like you said, in terms of like editing and making it, you could like pick and choose of the visuals you wanted to go behind the voiceover and stuff, and having him as a the future of the boy in the future, and then he's the actual speaker, like the voiceover guy, was really good.
If that's how you want to interpret it.
Yeah, sorry. If that's we don't know who he is. He could be anyone.
I guess there's no answer. I still don't know the answer myself.
I know it's true. He could be the landlord, but of an angry.
A lot of people said, so was he the kid? Was he the kid? I was like, do you know what? The kid just went up for a piss and he nicked his seat.
Yeah.
That was it.
You know, stories don't have to be deep. He could just be a drunk guy rambling on a bar stool at no one.
This kid actually has a really happy life. There's nothing wrong. He's just walking about.
Yeah. He's actually like
do you know what? I've never thought of it that way. Maybe maybe this kid is literally just minding his own business. He's actually fine, but this narrator has made up this scenario in his head because he's that pissed. He's just thinking, oh, yeah, that's what it means. I promise that's what it means.
Rewrite. That's the meaning. That's the meaning. We found the true meaning.
Yeah,
we're all good.
BBC.
Like I said before, is the whole that whole situation is like very vibrant with my mum. So when I told her the script and when she watched it live when it was on BBC Four, she was like, "Oh yeah, I get like completely like she'd be in those situations of just sitting, next to people laughing and talking, and you're young, so you can't really talk about the subjects and stuff that they're talking about. So you just sit there for a bit and drink your Coke or whatever." So I really enjoyed it. And I think, when people do their first like big short film and they want to make something crazy or like be really outspoken with like a really weird subject.
Yeah, Floridians.
Yeah, or that they want to talk about like a stereotypical subject, like they're like, oh, depression, like they go a bit down a weird route. Everyone goes down.
You oh, and something stereotypical depression.
Oh no, I'm sad. Like I don't. But it was good that you were like,
we're recording this off the back of this whole Meghan Markle thing that's
yeah,
happening
yeah.
with Piers Morgan. As we're recording this, Piers Morgan has just left GMB.
Piers Morgan is like just left my house. To be fair, he was here a minute ago. He hangs out. But
Yeah.
we like when you was like, I've got this thing that you were very related to, and you have very strong feelings about, and then you were like, it's kids in pubs when they should be at home, and I was like, oh right, that's a thing that needs to be talked about, needs to be mentioned about, but no one really does. So straight away I knew you had like a good hook in there straight away, and you cared about the subject. So
yeah, I think for once I kind of toned it down, you know. For once I kept it simple as opposed to like you know, I could imagine your horror as when like I go, Will, do you want to work on a film that I'm doing? You're like, oh no, we've got to buy pyrotechnics and, you know, make a dragon out of clay and beer cans.
I wondered where you were going, and you were like, it's in a pub, and I was like, oh, okay. But I do that every time. I'm like, oh, it'll be really easy dressing, and it never is. It's always you running around like crazy trying to sort stuff out, even for like the most normal thing. God forbid what sci-fi films are like, because Christ, trying to dress a pub was insane. So having to actually build an entire world is just like, God no.
That's a question that I suppose people listening would want to know is like, what exactly does an art director do? Like, define art director.
Well, the art director basically takes care of everything involving sets, props, and anything that's like the mise en scène of the shot. But you also dictate the kind of look of the film in terms of if you read in the script that two people are in an office, the art director is the one that just looks at that and goes, what kind of office is it going to be? Is it open plan office? Is it like cubicle office? And then from there, they have to, from the location, source the areas and then look into that. But that's when you get into the sub roles of like a dresser, a buyer. So a dresser is someone that specializes at when they see a room and they are told a mood by the director, they are very good at placing stuff. You'll see these people, they'll look at a room and they'll be able to design a room beautifully. That's like a set dresser. And a buyer is someone where if you were doing an office set and they say, right, we need like office dividers, we need this kind of computer, we need like an old, terrible photocopier, you'd give all this list, the art director will give this list to the buyer, and the buyer has their job to then go source all these things from prop hire companies, from like IKEA or charity shops. Most times if you're buying something, you want to try and return it, so you get like a receipt and you want to try and do stuff, but there are specialist items that you mainly hire. So in Manchester, it's like Stockyard North or Propaganda, or these are the places that you can get these props from. You hire them out, and then the buyer is the person that does the hiring out and deals with the budget. And then people like me, of like the art assistant or the standby, are the people that once the props are dressed in and everything's in place and the filming actually starts, deal with the kind of putting out the fires situation of like, this is your frame, you've got all the dressing in, but once you've actually got the camera in, it doesn't look right. Can you move this here? Can you take this to this? The prop we're using doesn't work. She's broken it. This has happened. Like, can you fix this? And that's why you end up as like part of my kit is there's a whole box of tape. I have a whole box of glue. I have ropes for stuff. I have like office supplies for sticking stuff together. I have all these like various weird stuff in my kit that's quite specific for just fixing things on set. But that's all you take care of. You shouldn't know anything about what kind of lenses should be on, what kind of, you just worry about the physical set and the props and looking after them. So the hero props are like the cameraman's lens. Like, you look after that. That's the prop man. Sorry, that's the prop master looks after the props. So if that breaks on set or, you know, can't be returned, that's the prop master's fault. They have failed their job because they were meant to look after that prop. and the art director is the one that just not looks after the team, but kind of oversees all these little jobs. And if any of those little jobs don't go right, it falls on his head or his or her head that it doesn't end up looking right. But I think with a lot of roles, as it is with many places, if the art director's done their job correctly, not many people really care. Like, not many people pull up the art department as being like, oh, that was out of the world, unless it's sci-fi or it's like fantasy. Then you're really having to push yourself because you're making a world. But I feel like if you say to yourself, oh, this looks a bit bland, or this looks like, I can't know to say what the word is, but when something feels like empty, like the scene looks empty.
I was going to say empty, yeah.
Yeah, or something like it's because either there wasn't enough time to get enough props or dress them in, or the person making it wasn't told properly what the feel of it was. But if you just dress a place with what you've got, you can brighten it. You can just make an area look so much more interesting, or a shot look so much more interesting with the physical objects in it.
Yeah.
So I guess
it's like,
is art as like an art director takes care of the actual physical things that you film, that isn't the actor or the actress. The actual things that are the objects and the scenery that the camera points at is what the art director takes care of, essentially.
Arguably, they're the most involved in how the film looks. To an extent, they're arguably the biggest storyteller on set. And
as well, they tell these stories that your mind just absorbs and you just accept it and you don't think too in depth. Like the stuff that they do in the background that you're never going to see is just because if they didn't do it, you'd weirdly notice and be like, oh, there's not much subject here. There's not much like subtext of the background of the things. Like, I really should have like a list of examples of great art directors, but I don't. So I'm sorry. But it's like...
No, I think it's like, if people don't pick up on the art direction in the film, that means that the art director has probably done a good job.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because I think that's why they don't get enough credit. And it's like, it's all well and good getting a great location like this pub, but without art direction, like, it would have just been nothing.
Well, it's a great location is like the foundation of it, and then you just need to dress it and just make it look lived in. Like, it's the whole thing of when we were doing it, of getting all the beers, like the half empty glasses, and waving them around to get the froth like halfway up the glass, and getting that little like, this thing I sprayed on the glasses to make it look like they were cold, and wrappers and just like bits on tables to make it look lived in. It's when you don't do these little bits that things look student-y, things look, noobish.
It's just attention to detail.
Yeah,
and making it believable, I think, like you say.
It's how much you can think about like a shot on a desk of a computer, but the way you position like someone's coffee mug or someone's plant, or if they have a plant, or if they've got a light, kind of like tells or depicts that character of if they're organized or if they are like disheveled or any way, or little bits of stuff that you can give away. And maybe that shot that you've worked on, that you've dressed that scene, is on for like 2 seconds. Like, it's on for a millisecond. You barely see that.
Might not even make the cut. Like,
it might even make the cut. But the thing is, if I know this character, they would have their coffee mug with mold in it because they didn't take it back to wash it, or they would have a plant here, but it's dead because they are so busy with being like a work mum that the plants are all dead, but they want to buy plants because they want to feel like in nature. It's like, and you get that from just a physical object. But
100%.
Again,
and I think like people look at art directors and go, oh, they just, make things look pretty. And it's like, no, I think like they have to actually have a full understanding of the script and the character to be able to go, okay, this is the exact kind of plant. And, certain I imagine that you had to look at that script in detail and go, what exactly is this character about? Like,
yeah. And I had to ask you
little daft things like putting one collar in his jumper.
Yeah. Little things like that, or just like the signs we had around the pub of what kind of place it is, like what kind of like that feel. Because I remember we talked about the feel of the pub, of it being a local, not a franchise of a pub where everything's like in framed photos and stuff. We wanted stuff just like printed up, like written roughly on a piece of paper, and just put
Like
up
the
all
bingo
the
signs that you made and the
yeah,
quiz
like
note, which again, you bet only if you look closely in the wide and zoom in, you wouldn't catch them. But
exactly, you wouldn't catch them. But if there's just
they're still there, and your brain is like subconsciously thinking, "Oh, this is a real lived-in pub."
yeah, exactly. I did, I think 2 weeks ago, I did a music video in a chip shop that was completely bare, nothing in it. And I had to add stuff in to make it look like a chip shop. But they had a certain look to this chip shop. They wanted it to be that film Goes West, or it's like
Ingrid Goes West
yeah, yeah,
with
and
Aubrey
it's,
Plaza.
yeah, yeah. It's like there's this element of it looks kind of disheveled, but it looks like someone's
Like
trying to keep it upbeat.
like cyberpunk-ish.
Yeah. So I was saying to them, like, I can do that, but they were also sending me stuff from like a local chip shop that had random pictures on the wall, or they'd done like a menu and they changed the price so many times that it was like a bunch of tape over the price because they kept going up and up. So I was doing all those bits for them, and then that's again, you don't see it, or you may not see it, or you see it for a little bit, but I poured over that, and I was like trying to do that as well as I could. And same with your film, as I was trying to make sure that we both understood what kind of pub it was, because that was important to you. You wanted it to be the pub that would have a kid in it that didn't see
mate,
TV.
essentially the pub is the biggest character in the film.
Yeah.
Like the geography of that kid is taking us around the geography of that pub, and as if it's like a map, like it's a character. Like, it's not just a location. It's important that we get that right and understand what it is.
Generally, my favorite shot, and it's weird because you don't really, there's no dressing in it at all. But my favorite shot of the whole film is the one up the stairs as the guy's passing across the stairs because he's gone for a piss and you can like hear the toilet flush. I don't know
and
why.
The door creak, yeah.
I think that activates something in my head of when I was little and I was at a pub of trying to find the toilet and being like, I don't know where, and like weird noises and everyone's really tall and like looking up. I think it's the angle of it and everything. I was like, that triggered something in my memory.
Yeah, so it's funny because I'd read a lot into like metaphorical shots and what they mean, and stairs meant that, like, although we were looking, and this is really technical now, like the amount of research I've done into the way shots look. If you're looking up at a character, automatically they're looking down at you, and it gives them power. So I thought, okay, if we're looking up at the stairs, that's showing that the stairs are powerful. It's also showing that it's a long journey to where this kid wants to go. And if we position it from his back, it's the back of him, so he doesn't look powerful. So we can get away with looking up the stairs. And it's again essentially meant to be this long road to where he wants to go, and looking out at this like long, like there's a lot of shots like where he's looking out and pondering, and the whole theme of the film is escape. Like it's not just, we didn't just go, these stairs look nice, let's just get a shot like this. Like it was heavily, there was reasons for it. Do you know what I mean?
And that's the stuff that you just do when you think so deeply about every like detail, is you end up being able to talk about one shot that was in the film for like a second for ages. And it's when you talk to someone about their film and you go, why do you use this shot? And they go, I don't really know. You're like, okay, well, you didn't really need to use it then. Of like all these.
Don't put a shot in just because it looks pretty, and if it doesn't have meaning, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, exactly. And, but it's so funny to me that that's my favorite shot. But I didn't do anything in it. I didn't add anything in it. I just took some posters off, I think, on one of the walls.
Yeah, that green board at the top. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just put some stuff on there.
No, that's a good one. That is. I never think about that shot. And something that I am going to release, and obviously you did like early on, is the storyboards, and we spoke about this a lot.
Oh god, they look so bad. Oh my god, no.
And funny enough, for anybody who's watching this who works with me, this is Will, who does all the storyboards, and you might have used him. But yeah, the story, like I'll be releasing them like a comparison of the initial storyboards to the actual end shot, to see how close we were. I mean, we were very close, but we spoke about a lot of stuff like that, and and going through the rough script and how he wanted it to look. But I remember at one point there's a shot of him looking out over the wall, and again you see the shot of the wall looking up at him to show that he's so insignificant, and like if he were to jump over this wall in the next shot he'd obviously die, and it's almost like a prison wall. Do you know what I mean? That was the idea. And I remember when we were planning that shot, I was like, I want some butterflies in this shot as well to go past, because butterflies symbolise freedom or something like that. And I think it was one point you were like, Liam.
Yeah. I remember literally I would say to you like, Liam, we can't get butterflies.
And I kept mentioning like, oh, these butterflies as well, and you were just like, yep, cool, yep, good idea, yep. Anyway, moving on. He was like, no, dodge that subject.
Yeah, that's what
was funny.
I just waited.
Just waited for the day. But what was funny on the day, obviously I'd kind of come to the realisation, like, we're not getting butterflies, come on. We had about £6 left of the budget. We couldn't get a butterfly wrangler. But funny enough, on that shot, some birds flew past in the distance, in the background, which kind of, still symbolised that thing of like they're out in the open doing their own thing and he can't see them. And when they flew past, in the edit, I was like, add some bird noises here. And it just worked.
Birds. I could have got birds, yeah. The idea of getting a trained butterfly was like...
Okay, come back now. Like a hawk, you have a glove for the butterfly, and it just some like glittery marigolds, and it comes back.
I was like, the only thing I think of is just to buy butterflies, and it'd be a one-take thing of me releasing it out of the box, and if you didn't get it, we didn't get it. Like, but I remember having a page on my laptop, literally going ideas of how to acquire a butterfly, and one of them was tissue paper. What if I just flap some tissue paper near the camera? Because I remember you saying that, and I was like, right, I need to figure out some way of getting a butterfly in this shot. I was like, oh my God. And then I thought, let me just leave it. And hopefully keep dropping hints that's kind of not doable and see what would, because you did drop a lot of stuff of being like, okay, we can't do this. But that's just what I do naturally of people going, I want this and this. And I go, great. And I just wait.
Give it a week and see how much you want it.
Just reduce that down, and eventually you see what people really wanted. And what you really wanted was the personalized coasters. We brought that down to like, that's what you really wanted.
Yeah.
That's what you're gagging for. And I was like, that I can do.
Yeah.
The rest of it I can steal and borrow off people, but that's like the one that cost the money, was to make personalized logos.
Yeah. Bloody hell. It's funny, mate, because how I always end these podcasts is like asking everybody what their favourite shot was. So you've tied that up really nicely.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's all I wanted. I think we've covered pretty much everything, mate, like in terms of how it was. And, I think it's nice that you've gone into so much detail about art directing and simplified it for people. And I think people should appreciate, like anybody listening now should appreciate how much work fucking goes into art direction. And I suppose, we've touched on how much work actually goes into a particular shot. Like one shot is months of work because why is this shot the way it is? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's been, genuinely insightful, mate. So thank you.
Well, I've shocked myself. I didn't know I could be that good.
Yeah, I didn't know you could actually produce such. I didn't know you could produce sentences that made sense.
I think it must be your interviewing skills have just pulled it out of me.
You know what they call me, Ho Rogan. On that note, Will, where can people find you on the internet? Do you want to plug? Do you want to plug anything? Are you working on anything exciting that people could get behind, or?
Nothing that's like concrete. I go week by week at this point because I get my COVID test like just before a shoot, and then it could go wrong the night before. So in terms of plugging things, no, I'm going to plug. I'm a happy little boy. I try and stay off the internet because it scares me, and I don't like technology. So I enjoy pictures, and I'll say to you, if you like art department, try and get a runner role, and then just help the art people. Don't help anyone else. Just help art people, and then eventually, and have a pen knife. Have at least 2 knives with you. Always have 2 knives. Have a Stanley knife and a pen knife.
If you live in Stoke, that's an easy thing to acquire.
Yeah. Have a multi-tool. That's a knife. There's a knife in there. And then just seem handy if you like the art department stuff, and eventually they'll get you back. And
that's a whole different conversation that we'll have about when you first became a runner in Manchester, and me and you lived in a very scary part of Manchester. For anybody that doesn't know as well, me and Will moved to Manchester together straight after uni and lived together for 2 years, and we'd come home off the metro every day and walk past a crime scene. But that's another podcast when we'll talk about maybe we'll get into that one day. About scary Manchester, Eccles, bad times. But you do have Instagram, don't you? It's will.n.gale, I believe. And as you can see, anybody watching, it'll be underneath his name. But I'd say it for anybody listening.
There's a picture of me in a queen dress, so enjoy that.
I've enjoyed it many times, if you know what I mean. Thanks, Will. Thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
You've enjoyed it.
Thank you for hiring me in the first place.
Yes. Thank you for taking my money. Well, the BBC's money.
I took the BBC's money. Let's probably frank on that.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Nice one.